Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the channel. I have a very special guest today. Emil, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, so I'm a growth operator. I've been in the space for about a year now. Um, Hit 20K a month recently. Been working with
At what
Louis.
age? At what age?
Well, literally just turned 18. So I
Oof,
actually hit at 17.
that's incredible. That is incredible, bro. When I was 17, yeah.
I mean, I started young. That's the thing. I did start relatively young. But yeah, I've been working with you for a while now.
I remember when we first met, you were kind of considering running a setting coaching offer with your friend. You were kind
Yeah,
of all over the place. So
yeah.
speaking about where you were, like what, because I remember we just had a call. It was just like a call together. And then like over the next few days, you were like, oh, I'm like interested in like some of the stuff you have and maybe how you can help. And then we kind of just like kept it from there. And then you came to the event. So like how was it going from practically nothing to like that 20K mark? What were the things that went on?
Yeah, I mean, I came into the space like absolutely clueless. Like I had just turned 17. I didn't even know what high ticket sales was. I watched some YouTube videos about like partnering with creators, building out a school community, like extremely outdated stuff. So I came into the space thinking, yeah, I'm gonna partner with creators and take like 50% around like a low ticket community or something crazy like that. I didn't even know what a setter or what a closer was. So I basically spent the first like 3 to 5 months of me being a growth operator just in the trenches, DM setting for like 6 to 8 hours a day, trying to
To
land
make
quality
no money.
clients. Yeah, literally. I was booking maybe
Yeah.
5 calls a week. Like I was so dialed in with outreach, but obviously my offer was terrible, so I wasn't closing anyone. So that's kind of like how I learned sales. And then obviously I invested in a different mentorship where I actually learned like how
Okay,
to run.
how to go
Yeah,
about things.
how to actually be a growth operator, and that was great. It definitely like taught me the basics. It got me to like a good point where I like landed my first client, started doing that, and then I think in November of
Yeah, it
last
was in
year,
November. I was in Spain.
yeah,
Because you had signed some pretty like a setup fee, 5K, like a few
yeah,
grand here and there, which was amazing, obviously at the time. But you weren't really kind of consistent, and there was like delays in client launches, and the actual fulfillment stuff for clients was, I think, maybe one of the biggest kind of
yeah,
unlocks I could give you.
for sure. I had just hit my first 10K month, or I think I hit my first 10K month in November when we
Hmm.
partnered together. Um, but yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. It was like I hit 10K month, but it was extremely inconsistent. I would hit 10K and then make like 2K the next month. So it wasn't like I was making like consistent 10K months. And then yeah, as you say, I didn't really know what to do. I was like pretty decent at landing clients and getting like on calls with people, but then my positioning wasn't great. I didn't really know how to do like actual big launches. I didn't know what goes into like building out a sales team, all the more in-depth stuff with like copy, back end. I didn't know how to run paid ads. I didn't know how to do webinars. So
That's the thing. I think everyone, bro, when I got into growth offering, I was like, yeah, I had the same thing. Eddie Cumberbatch, school communities.
mm,
And there is so much that goes into it. Yes, at the start, you can probably sign one client, get away with it, make a few grand a month when your skill set isn't that good. But to have like lifetime value with your client. So Emil yesterday recorded a case study with the client that he scaled to like 97K a month, around the 100K a month mark. He's been working with that client for a good few months. They're paying him consistently, and now they're going to layer on the paid ads. So he's going to be able to have that lifetime value with the client, whereas before it's kind of like, oh, you're just always signing new clients instead
yeah,
of having like a few that pay you consistently.
yeah, 100%. I would do like a lot of building releases and kind of just like create a funnel and just like leave them to it. But I didn't really know how to like come into an offer and really scale it to consistent six-figure months. Like I wouldn't have been able to do that before working with you, like 100%.
Oh man, thank you. What would you say that I gave you? Because I know when you joined, like when I first started doing some sort of consulting, I myself was like still running my agency. There wasn't like a ton of stuff built out.
Mm.
So what would you say like over time were the biggest things that like helped from me, would you say, to like be able to scale your clients?
Yeah, I would say obviously I've never really been like too active with the group calls. Like when I first joined I was, but now that's just my fault. That's like not because of
No,
the group.
I any group that I join, I do one-on-one calls or it's nothing. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's just me personally. I just feel like I like every single group, like I've never really done many group calls, but maybe that's just like a problem for me. But I think the SOPs that you have are like by far the best I've seen anywhere, like 100%. And I've even spoke to other people who are in quite big like growth
Well
up
known, yeah.
communities, and like I compare like what they're doing compared to what I've got from you, and I would say like without a doubt the kind of SOPs that you have, number one, they're so in depth. Like you don't just give like a doc and just like
It's one of
let
those ChatGPT docs, bro.
yeah,
That
exactly. It's like there's a Loom video explaining it, walking you through it, and there's like so many course
examples,
modules.
yeah, like
Yeah,
it's detail. I think the only thing I struggled with was like, okay, is it too complex? Is it too like the direction? So that's why it's not for beginners, right? But you coming in, you had a bit of experience, and then you fucking ran with it and crushed it, which is it. And I actually remember you saying to me like when I initially built it out, it was just mostly documents, and I hadn't really done much with it because I was kind of just like doing calls for the most part.
yeah,
And you kind of gave me a kick up the arse, and I was like, if you have the best product on the market and it really is good, like it's going to be like positive all round.
yeah.
So yeah, bro, that's sick to see. And with the webinar stuff specifically, like how was that doing the first kind of like the first big webinars for your clients and launching those?
Yeah, so I mean the stuff that you have on webinars is like extremely detailed. Obviously, that's kind of like where your expertise are. So you've run so many webinars now that you can like
Pretty much
show
copy the
what you've
decks or
done, and yeah,
yeah,
yeah, like you know what to do, and it's all there explained very easily. Like I think with the way the community is set up, like someone who's a complete beginner could come in and get from like 1 to 10, like 0 to 10, but someone who's already making 10, 20K a month, even more to be honest. Like if you're an operator making like 30, 50K a month, I still think you would get like an immense amount of value, especially on like the paid ads and webinar side of stuff.
and even on like the team and hiring stuff, because I was like one thing that I've grown, and I think because I remember, Emil, you had like a tech guy, and I think, I mean, especially when you started, like of course like Zapier and all these kind of automations and AI stuff is like completely foreign to you. It's so difficult. How would you say like that was, because you've had to hire, and now you're probably going to be like hiring more. That's probably one of the biggest things for you next, of like, okay, how can I take myself a little bit out of day-to-day operations so that I can focus on signing bigger and better clients?
Sure, yeah. So I have at the moment like a backend guy, but I literally just send him your SOPs and like he works it out. Like
Yeah,
that's why I
that's the
love it.
goal, that everyone adds their team like on the to the group,
Yeah,
and then they can, yeah.
yeah. He's got access to my school account. I tell him which video module to watch. He watches through it and he does it. Like there's never any like him asking me questions. Like it's all explained. And then for sure, I think me hiring a copywriter is definitely the next move. I want to do that probably next month, to be honest. And like I'm confident I could just give him access to my school and he would be like 100%.
That's the goal. We're actually revamping a lot of the copy and some of the tech stuff just to make it like, because also you've got to like think that I built it as I was scaling my team, and every time I like had a hire, I would just onboard them. So the standard I want for my team is a standard that I want for any sort of consulting client. So that's kind of where it's come from. But I'm really glad to hear that, bro, because I remember when like you started, it was like just completely raw, one person doing absolutely everything. So yeah, copywriter definitely next, and then you already have a sales manager kind of that you somewhat partnered with for one of
Yeah.
their clients as well. So that's good.
Yeah.
In terms of next goals, like where actually no, one more question before that. How was, because you came to the event in Marbella? How was that? Would you say
No,
overall?
the event was sick. I mean, like obviously the people that I met there were like great relationships. I've built some friendships from there. I'm even meeting back up with someone. I'm going to the A Players event in London at the end of this
I wish
month.
I was there.
Yeah,
Wait, who's it with? Who's going?
Tyler.
Oh, Tyler's going. Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
Charlie's there as well. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, Tyler's a
yeah.
G.
So yeah, like I've made relationships from it. But then obviously in terms of the actual like business, the speakers, like the value was insane. I think it was like a lot more kind of intimate than a lot of other events. It wasn't too like, like people being I don't know,
It was
um
quite friendly because everyone is
friendly.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Which is
pretty
good.
chill.
Like I remember me and Charlie and Marcus were literally sat up until like 4 a.m. just talking about webinars. Like we were
Yeah.
literally just sitting in the kitchen, like having a chat about webinars and just. So yeah, it wasn't too formal, but at the same time, there was like tons of value that I got from it.
What would you say are the biggest things that you kind of applied, or the biggest things that you kind of know that you need to do now to be able to, because like I assume after hitting 20K a month, now the goal is like 30, 50.
Yeah.
What are the things that you're implementing now that is kind of different to kind of what you did to get to 20K a month for anyone like watching at like the 10, 20K a month level?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is like paid ads and webinars. I think obviously there's quite a big shift towards like everyone's talking about paid ads and webinars right now. And I really do think you are like probably one of the best at paid ads and webinars in terms of the growth up coaches out there. So that's obviously the number one thing I'm going to be implementing for my clients. Obviously, building out a team, hiring a copywriter so I
That's
can
the biggest
focus on
thing
finding
because
bigger clients.
all that is like being able to sign bigger clients. That's
Yeah,
the only gap that you have because we recently spoke about potential clients that you could have in the pipeline. But I
yeah,
think that you need to be extremely like you should be like the more money you make, the more you need to be able to say no to certain opportunities and deals. You've
yeah,
probably seen that, but like for
yeah,
you, if you can say no and you can only say yes to those top 1% deals that can pay you, like you had one client pay you in that record 20K month, 15K. If you had
yeah,
three of those clients that were like quite easy to fulfill for, not too
yeah.
stressful, the client's pretty chill, your life's amazing.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the biggest things that held me back was I would work with clients which were extremely low leverage and I would end up making hardly any money and then offboard them. And I've kind of just wasted a few months putting my time and focus into this client when now obviously I realize I just need, as you say, three clients that are bringing me in 15 to 20K a month and I'm making, 50,
S-
60K a month.
Exactly. Small
Um,
team. But the only way I think you can really do that like sustainably is with the paid ad side. Because eventually a client on organic is going to kind of falter and stumble.
yeah,
What do your
yeah,
parents think as well? Like, because you obviously, did you drop out of sixth form? Is that,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's insane.
That was like my biggest motivation to be honest when I started um like growth operating when I was in my first year of sixth form, so I was like just turned 17, and I just knew I want, because before this I was doing loads of stuff like dropshipping, trading, like all those like random business models. I just knew I was gonna make money online. Like I had uh like so much self-belief. I just knew I was gonna work out and like make it happen. So I would just come home from school and just like grind all day, like stay up till like 2 a.m., go to school the next day, sleep through school. And then I had that summer holidays where I'd be going into my last year of sixth form. And throughout that summer holidays, I just did not leave my house. And as I said, I was just doing like 10 hours of outreach every day.
What gave you, what was the motivation behind that? Was it just like, I knew I wanted to make money online. That's like the only, like, that's like the goal, right?
Honestly, I've tried to think about this before. I generally don't really know like what that deep motivation is, but the first thing was like I wanted to drop out of school, but it was obviously like more than that. Like I wanted freedom. I didn't want to work a job. Like it was the basic stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, and then obviously I did actually go back for the first like few months of the last year, and then I hit my
Just
first
before
10K
we,
month, and I
yeah,
was just
when we spoke, yeah.
I managed to like sell my parents. Like my dad really didn't want me to drop out. My dad, he
What does
still
he think
doesn't
now?
like he doesn't
He doesn't
100
rate it now.
he does, but like he doesn't really like understand it. He doesn't really like
No, same.
see the long-term potential, But my mom is has always been like supportive. Like my mom is like I speak to her every day about business. Like she knows
That's a
everything
blessing,
that's
bro.
going on with my clients and everything.
No way. I wish I could say the same. What did you think? Like, let's say 1 year ago, when you basically were starting operating, right? It was about a year ago that
Yeah.
summer, right? What did you think you would hit like 20K a month by in a year's time? Like, did you have that belief, or was it like, holy shit? Imagine if I'm like, how have things changed, like in terms of
Yeah.
lifestyle, in terms of that stuff?
No, it's funny. I actually recorded a reel about this a few days ago. It was
I
like,
saw it.
yeah, when I first started in online business, before I even like knew what growth operating was, this was what I was doing like SMMA for like a month or something. And I said like I want to hit 5K a month by the end of the year, pounds. I had no idea how I was going to do it. Like I genuinely didn't even know which business model it would be, whether it be trading, dropshipping, agency, like I had no idea. Obviously I hit that, and then that just kind of gave me the self-belief. I was like, okay, I want to make
And more,
20
yeah.
a month by I turned 18, and I
And
hit
you did
20K
it.
a month the month before. So now I've said I want to hit 50K a month by the end of this year. I want to hit 100K a month next year, and I just know I'm
I
gonna do
think you're
it.
on the way, bro. You're definitely well on the way. That's crazy because I have an alchemy of self document from like when I
Same.
turned 18. I have a
Yeah.
document from when I turned 18. My goal was 5K a month. And when I wrote that, for me, for me, when I wrote down the goal, I was like, I was kind of scared. I was like, this is
Yeah.
quite a big number for me.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. And you just don't
Yeah.
know. But I think through like, Emil is one of the hardest working people I've seen, and also someone who is just no fear investing into himself, learning constantly, iterating constantly. So I have no doubt that you're going to be hitting like 50K plus by the end of the year. By next year, 6 figures a month.
Yeah,
That would be crazy to see, bro.
that's
I
the
believe
goal.
in you. I think
Six
you're going to be
figures a
there.
month by 19.
That would be crazy. I can say I hit it. I know when I was 20. It was like I've just turned 20, so
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel any different. Like you always have the next goal. So
yeah,
I suppose we can pass that lesson down to everyone watching. Like whatever goal you have is always going to be a next goal. Emil,
sure.
to end things, what
Yeah.
would you leave with a message for anyone who's like potentially interested in working with me, whether they're starting out as a growth op or like maybe they're even like in a position that you're in, maybe they've got their first few clients.
Yeah, I would say if like no matter where you are in your journey, if you're like completely new, let's say you're a closer and you want to start growth operating, I would say 100% I recommend this program because the group calls will help you. Obviously, you're around people doing 10,
People,
20K a
yeah.
month and beyond. So you can learn from them. Obviously, you can learn from Louis. The course, it has everything breaking down from complete beginner, how to land your first client, how to do your first launch, everything.
Pretty complete.
Yeah, it's stacked. Like I genuinely mean it when I say like the course is insane and the SOPs. But even if you're already doing like 10 to 30K a month, I even 50K a month, and you want to get to 100K a month, like I really also believe this program will help you a ton, especially if you want to do paid ads, webinars, building out a team.
I think
Like
that's the main things, yeah. But even
yeah,
starting out as well. And any last message to any operators out there, like any advice that you'd give just personally, like what would you say is the biggest thing that has like helped you in your journey?
yeah. I'm not even saying this just because obviously it's a case study, but I genuinely think info is pay to win. Like I
Yeah,
really
I
do
would
believe.
agree. I was very slow and it made me lose time.
Yeah, every single person that is making 100K a month plus in info, they've spent so much money on info. Like all,
100%.
all the top guys, they've spent hundreds of thousands on info. So if you want to get there as quickly as possible, literally just invest in yourself
And
and
it doesn't
you
have to be me. Like it can literally be
yeah,
anyone, but I would 100% agree with
anything.
that.
Yeah,
And of course, it's money like you spend, but if you think about, okay, how much money am I going to make back from this? What is like the long-term compounding? Like, look how much Emil has grown in 1 year. Like a year ago, he was completely clueless, and now he's talking about, okay, next year, seeing about hitting 6 figures because he knows the income is going to compound.
yeah.
So yeah, all right. I really appreciate you, Emil. I'll leave
Of course.
his Instagram and all his YouTube as well down in the description. So definitely check him out because soon you'll soon see him at 50, 100K as well.